What are some crazy World War II facts? 1. My grandfather fought in France during World War II for the US. During a battle, a girl was shot and killed. He took her body, left the battle, went to the nearby town, and went door to door to find out where she lived. He returned her to her parents after the war. He named his daughter, my mom Tana, after that little girl. 2. The United States produced 150% more planes in 1944 alone than Japan did during the entire war. 3. Only about 4% of Londoners used the tube stations as bomb shelters during the Blitz. About 40% used Anderson shelters under their back gardens or cage-like shelters in their homes. The rest stayed in their usual bedrooms and hoped for the best. 4. Operation Cottage. On August 15, 1943, Canadian and U.S. troops decided to attack Japanese troops from opposite sides of an island. However, they didn't know that the Japanese army had left the island 2 weeks prior. The Canadian and U.S. troops mistook each other for Japanese and started shooting. Friendly fire resulted in 28 Americans and 4 Canadians killed, with a total of 313 casualties, even though there was no enemy. 5. Winston Churchill had an oxygen mask specially made for flying in airplanes that allowed him to smoke cigars while wearing it. 6. There's a tree, believed to be about 500 years old, though I can't remember exactly, that survived the bombing of Hiroshima. It still stands in the city. 7. When in retreat, the Nazis would booby-trap pictures on the walls and leave them slightly crooked. They did this to entice officers to straighten them, setting off an explosion. 8. There was no coffee in major German cities for much of World War II due to supply lines being disrupted. However, they made up for the lack of coffee by switching to meth-filled chocolate. 9. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was on a work trip to Hiroshima when the atomic bomb went off. He then returned to his home in Nagasaki and was describing the blast to his unbelieving boss when the Nagasaki bomb went off. He survived both atomic bombings.